Hello everyone! Today we are going to be exploring part 2 of how to make your very own cartoon show.
Coming up next.
I myself have my own cartoon here on YouTube. Demonic Crepes is the story of a girl who travels to Japan to become a manga artist, but her life becomes a little more complicated when her demon cat's enemies come back for revenge. Today, I'm going to show you how to go about making your very own original cartoon show completely from scratch. Since this is an update from my previous how to make a cartoon tutorial, we're going to also step this up a notch. By the end of this, you're going to have a perfectly organized pitch of your brand new TV show. The TV show I am creating today is called Valkyrie. It's basically about 5 warriors who defend Asgard and the mortal realm from supernatural forces. If you guys have not seen part 1 of this tutorial, then you can go ahead and skip on over there and hop on back once you reach the first 3 steps. Step number 4 is super duper fun, and this is costume design. We're gonna just be going over this briefly. I'm gonna be designing my ensemble, and this is a little bit different because I wanted a consistent yet personalized look. Kind of imagine your group like in a big shot with everyone visible. Do they look stylistically from the same show? Would fans have fun kind of like picking out their favorite outfit or designing their own? I decided to give my girls the same costume basics, but switched up shapes and draping. Of course, a signature color is a must. Let's play dress up with Runa as an example. All warriors start with a dark gold chainmail armor. Next, a light gold bodice, a flowy skirt, a headpiece with the jewel and the little wings, of course, boots, or sandals in Sylvie's case, in their signature color with a light gold cuff, shoulder and arm armor, and finally a dramatic cape. I also did a lot of research into the regional fibers of the time and made swatches for the textures. Number 5. Now that we have our main ensemble of characters, let's design the side characters. The supporting cast needs to mesh with the show's style just as much as the main characters. So let's start with some noble steeds. Valkyrie come from Norse mythology, and as also seen in my mood board, they flew Pegasus into battle. Like the warriors themselves, I had a few things I wanted to keep consistent between them, such as basic armor and how their hair is styled after the Valkyrie. For today's purposes, all the Pegasus will have the same base, but I would love at least one of them to have a Clydesdale. That would be so cute. Each girl has their own signature jewel and color, so this will be translated into their steed. The hooves will have a gradient kind of coming up that will be their color as well as the inside of their ears. Otherwise, they will be white, like their capes. It'll all just be kind of like a quick, easy read overall, and then they'll have like their signature color and jewels. I also designed their little saddle blanket things to be cut into the jewel's shape. All these attributes make a quick read for whose Pegasus is whose. Even if the girl isn't currently riding the Pegasus, you can kind of see it trotting around a field or something and know like, oh, that's Runa's, that's Sylvie's. I was really excited to add these because I kind of thought of it as like a collectible play set that would go with the Valkyrie dolls, and like, you know, you could like have so much play and adventures with this kind of like setup I have going here. Alright, now let's design a side character that is not part of the ensemble. Fenrir is based off Fenrir, a character from Norse mythology as well. He acts as this giant monster hound, and while I wanted to incorporate this character, I was going to make him my monster hound, like Lily style. Remember that this is your show. Give it as much authenticity and personality as you can. I designed Fenrir to be a mix of wolf and husky, but most of all, I based him off this goof. Making him into a puppy really helped me flesh out his character a little better. Like the Pegasus, I added a little Valkyrie in there for scale. Now that we have an ensemble side character type and a solo side character type, let's design a human. Well, he's a little bit more of a god. I designed Odin to be the boss of the whole situation. Odin also comes from Norse mythology, of course. You can kind of think of him like the Zeus type character. He's your guy if you're looking for your new mission. He briefs the girls on the most recent perils plaguing Asgard. I made him gilded and strong, but I wanted him to also be kind of small and goofy. This character is one of the first ones that I really had like bouncing around my mind when I first started the show. I made sure that his curls and line work were also consistent with the show. He also has a lot of the same design rules set for the warriors, you know, the way like the armor is stacked and such. Upon finishing his design, I did do a once-over, and I wanted to communicate further that he was divine, so I gave him a like ethereal starscape in his cape that would kind of like soar like the galaxy. And after I did like that little bit of a revision, I feel like he definitely reads more of a god now. Number 6 is your location. This is where your story will take place. It should be a place that has a strong tie to your characters and have some character itself. Today, I'm gonna design Asgard with you. If Odin is kind of like the Zeus, you can think of Asgard to kind of be like Olympus. Now, I tried to research this extensively. Like I said in the previous video, I didn't want to make it like everything has to be like historically accurate, but at the same time, I feel like I need to know my stuff as a reference, so I didn't make like a big blunder in design and people are like, this girl doesn't know what she's talking about. So I found in my research that generally it was kind of described as a palace or city hovering on a cloud or a rock or something like that, and a rainbow bridge, and that's kind of it. I approached this with shapes first, kind of like the Valkyrie. Like Fenrir, feel free to give this your own personal spin to your design. I use some of my environment style that I use when I do gouache painting, since it's just more fun that way. Beyond stylistically, think of how your characters will interact with this setting. In the upper left building, you can kind of see there's a runway of sorts, so when the Pegasus land, they can kind of have like a little runway to like do a little bit of a gallop or take off from it. They even have a little quick access to the stables up there too. Other fun things I added for character mobility or, you know, for dramatic balconies, bridges to smaller little islands, pagodas, waterfalls, and so much more. Really let loose and have fun with this. Number 7 is your logo and your title. All right, so we're gonna design our title, which is overall to express our branding. You can certainly just have text, but I wanted to do like a little plaque beneath it as well. Here I started with my show title, Valkyrie, and I tried a bunch of fonts. I wanted the text to be iconic, but be very careful of that oh so important legibility line. I kept in mind my location and time frame of my story. I made a dark border with this Viking-style weaving, adorning each corner with a Viking compass. I wanted some Norse runes in there too, but since most people can't read it, I used it as more of like a tagline. That way, if like you can't read it, it's like you're not missing anything. I think it says Air Guardians, if I'm not mistaken. The backsplash has a chiseled rock/crystal texture as well. My personal favorite touch in the title is the jewels. Starting with Runa's pink jewel in the middle, they go clockwise in rainbow order, representing each mighty lady. And of course, it has wings. All right, you guys are doing awesome. We are on the finale. This is part 8. And this one was a toughie. It is outlining your first 5 episodes. Again, like I stressed in the last video, keep this brief. I'm sure you are really pumped to express your characters, but keep in mind our goal is to draw people in and leave them wanting more. Luckily for me, I have an ensemble of 5 and 5 episodes to write. I'll introduce 1 per episode. Typically, the first 1 or 2 episodes are going to be a little bit of like a longer description, but take as long as you need to briefly sum up your idea. Every time I introduce a character, I want to communicate who she is, a conflict in the mortal realm, and kind of like a way that she has a warrior potential. I typed these out on Google Doc, numbered them, and then brought them back into Procreate and kind of put them in my template. I found as I wrote it, I had a lot of like structure and like tropes that kept popping up. You guys can always pause and read this. I'm not going to read it out to you guys. That would be kind of annoying. But, you know, there's this whole like, you know, they're presented with their jewel. And then I made sure like all of the disasters that happened in each episode were all very different. Runa's was a spirit, and then Amma's was a monster. Sylvie was just a human. Nana was a physical disaster, and then Ari was a natural disaster. On the very last page of your pitch Bible, you should include a small blurb about yourself. All right, you guys are doing awesome. Keeping up with me? Feel great? Get a snack if you need it. So let's run through it one more time. Let's organize our ideas. First is your cover of sorts with the title, a picture, and your name. Number 2, you can do a group shot of sorts with your log line. If you guys haven't heard of a log line before, kind of think of it like the little Netflix description for your show. Page 3 was Runa, page 4 is Amma, page 5 is Sylvie, and so on with your main characters. After that, we have our supporting characters, Pegasus, Fenrir, and Odin. The location will be next with a small description underneath. And then next will be the episode outline. I managed to fit mine into 2 pages. Your pitch Bible should not be that long. No more than 15, they usually say. Any more will kind of be a turn-off to anyone who's trying to read it. After your outline of your episodes, you can add that caption about yourself and congratulations, you now have your very own cartoon show ready to go. But let's have some real talk. While animation is the most fun you're ever gonna have, it's not easy. It's full of obstacles and 3 times harder than you think it is. It's important to set up a great team of people you can trust and always pay an artist for their work and time. Keep in mind that the industry is brutal and a lot of times you'll have to kill your darlings. I know that I can make the process seem fun and smooth, but it won't always be that way. You gotta keep getting up every time a design or story gets rejected. But I know you guys are really tough and determined. Believe in your story and believe in yourself. You'll be really surprised by what is possible. Shout out to our patrons on Patreon, Embro Comics, Nadir, Javier Mendez, Justin R. Williams, and Nico Weaver. If you want to join the fun and support this channel, we're at patreon.com/Bubblegum Cartoons. Fan art of the week goes to Sasha Ishikawa, my IRL friend. She did Sophie for this kind of like template challenge thing she's doing. She's awesome. She was a coworker of mine. We're both Disney artists, and she is totally amazing. Go follow her on Instagram, Potato Draws Art. She is a darling. She is talented. She is so bright and passionate, and especially if you love like Avatar: Last Airbender art, definitely go check her out. Until next time, guys, stay inspired.